Been there, done that tonight. We're moving on to recipe number 3, which is the vanilla custard with red lentil and oat crumble. We haven't even started yet. My mind's kind of blown because lots of stuff going on here. Okay, tell us.
All right, so now this is an interesting one, and you might do a bit of a double take, right? Because you don't generally hear vanilla custard and red lentil in the same sentence. So you're probably looking at me and you're saying, Sean, what the heck?
Sean, what the heck?
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
But you're just gonna have to follow along the steps.
I will follow. We will follow. Okay, show us.
Trust me. So we've begun here with essentially a custard base, right? So it's finished, but it's a simple process. We've taken our farm fresh Vita eggs here. We've mixed that with some sugar, right, to allow it to dissolve. We're adding in our hot milk and cream to temper it in.
Okay.
A little bit of salt, a little bit of vanilla, and boom,
there it
after
is.
we strain it.
Okay.
That's what we get, right? Very, very simple process. We're gonna go ahead and just pour that nice and evenly into our ramekins, right? And now that's going to go into a half pan here that we've filled with very, very hot water.
I think the recipe referred to a hotel pan, which is like one of those big,
Yes.
but if you don't have that, was one of the things that I had wondered about. You could just use a baking pan.
Yep, yeah, anything that's kind of a high-sided pan is perfect. So now we're gonna take this, we would cover it up and put it into a 325-degree oven.
Okay.
If you wouldn't mind popping that
Top or
open
bottom
for me.
are we going
Let's
on
go
this one?
bottom.
Bottom, okay.
Thank you.
Careful.
Carefully.
Easy. Okay.
Right, and I'd love to give you a time on this.
But you can't.
Exactly, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start checking after 10 minutes, and then generally checking about 5-minute intervals after that. What we're looking for is the judicious use of the jiggle test.
Okay.
Right? And so essentially we're just gonna jiggle those little ramekins until the inside looks kind of like a Jell-O. Right? So it's kind of moving back and forth, it's jiggling, and it's no longer liquid.
And so the hot bath, like that, so why, like you can't just fire it into the oven. It's got to be, so is it about sort of like the slower cooking process?
Slower cooking,
gentler,
and even heat.
Okay.
We're looking for a nice gentle cook. Because
Okay.
it's eggs, right? You don't want scrambled eggs.
Right, and I remember you mentioned that if you leave it too long, sometimes that's what you get, and not to be too disappointed because it happens. It takes a bit of, it's a bit of a challenge. So why don't you try it? Let us know how it went.
Yeah.
All right.
So now let's talk crumble.
Okay.
So essentially here, we've begun with our red lentils. Now we have these cooked, but you can cook them yourself, right? It's such a simple process. It's only about 5 minutes in some boiling water. And if you've never cooked red lentils, you'll notice they look very different from something like a green lentil. And that's because the size is much smaller, and that's what allows them to cook so darn quickly, right? And the flip side of that, though, is that if you don't watch them, they'll cook a little too fast.
Feel mushy.
Exactly.
Okay.
So 5 minutes, keep an eye on them.
Okay.
After that, you'll lay that out onto a baking tray and you'll let them steam dry. Right?
Okay.
That removes a bit of the moisture and allows them to crisp up nicely in the oven.
But we've got these done.
Done.
Those are ready to go.
Exactly. So
Okay.
we'll take these.
Okay.
We'll pop them into our bowl here, and then Des, if you want to add our Manitoba oats.
Yeah, and so what's really neat is that a lot of the same farmers that would produce like the lentils also produce the oats as well. So
it's really fantastic.
Locally grown and locally produced, and then we've got locally produced bee-made honey.
We sure do.
Okay.
Gonna go on and pop that in. Next, we'll put in just a little bit of oil.
Well, my mother would be like, get all the honey out of there. Get every scrap of honey out of there.
I'm saving some for myself.
Oh, smart.
Yeah, a little bit of oil here, and then finally some cinnamon. If you wouldn't mind going ahead and stirring that. So we're just bringing everything there together. Doesn't have to be perfect, because we will be stirring throughout.
Okay.
We'll get that perfect, just like that.
Just like
and now
that,
you can
and
go
now-
ahead and spread it
Okay.
onto our sheet pan. I'll hold that for you.
Okay, thank you.
Right on there.
And then we just spread this out a little bit.
Exactly, and the spreading just helps provide an even heat all throughout, so you get a nice crispy crumble.
So sort of like that? Is that sufficient
Yep.
or a little thinner?
You can go a little bit thinner, but keep in mind that we're going to be continuously stirring throughout.
Right, okay, so that's all right.
Yes, so
Okay.
here I'm going to take this and I'm going to pop it into our oven here. And then you're going to let that cook for about 15 minutes,
Okay.
right, just so it comes up. We're going to pull it back out. We're going to add, we have coconut here as well as almonds, but you can add just about whatever you want, really.
Yeah.
Other kinds of nuts, even fruit. And then after about another 15 minutes, stir, 15 minutes, stir, and then out of the oven.
What you end up with is
a beautiful crumble here, nice and golden brown.
And you can't even see the lentils in there. Not that you're trying to hide them, but it's just like it's shocking how they sort of just like. And then we just.
Yeah. So to finish, we're just going to go ahead and take one of our custards, and we're going to add a nice spoonful.
Look
keep
at
going.
that.
Keep going.
Let's be like.
There we go.
Get all crazy with the granola. Or not
And you
granola,
can add whatever you want to that. You can add fruit. You can add other kinds of nuts.
Amazing.
And there we go.
Okay, can I just like try a little piece? I'm gonna try a little piece. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're gonna meet another amazing Manitoba Farm family, and we'll touch in on all of our recipes again here on Great Taste.
You're watching Great Tastes of Manitoba, filmed on location at Supper Central in Kenaston Commons.